like to welcome you to BOI Meets Wellness, a podcast that discusses the complexities, celebrations, and challenges of building a wellness ritual as a BOI, a person who is born obviously incredible. You are now listening to BOI Meets Wellness with poet, motivational speaker, and wellness lover, Evolve Benton.
BOI, born obviously incredible, especially when you wear it pretty.
Hey folks, welcome to the Speakers Room Live. I am excited about today's conversation, but before we jump in, as you know, if you're listening now, just put hashtag live in the comments. If you are listening in the near and dear future, put hashtag replay. I am Evolve Benton, the Speaking for Profit coach, and I'm here to support you in thinking about how to increase your impact and also increase your income while you do it. So today's conversation is all about masterclasses. And many of you know I did a masterclass a couple of weeks ago called Crafting Your Signature Talk. Several of you were there. Thank you so much for being there. And it went really, really good. And a lot of the strategies that I utilize in the masterclass, I learned from our guest today. So I'm excited to bring Sue Clement here to the Speakers Room Live to have this conversation around strategy, revenue, and bringing masterclasses into your business model. So let's bring Sue up. Hey, Sue, welcome to the space.
Hey, good to be here. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. So I always want to know people's stories, right? Because that's a big part of speaking. So can you tell me a little bit about you, right? Like, where are you from? Where do you live now? And what brings you joy?
Oh, okay. So where do I live now? I'm in Vancouver, Canada, BC. And I actually grew up in Alberta, which is Edmonton, the next province over. And some of the things I love driving. I have a yellow Corvette, and that just, that's my happy spot. That I just look at the car and I smile. I get in the car and I really smile. And particularly, I always have the roof off. And so that's my happy spot for lifestyle. And then when it comes to business, my happy spot is when I get to work with clients and helping them evolve and grow their business. And, I say my moniker is like think and grow like a CEO. Mm-hmm. And it's really about helping people, have the lifestyle that they want. Because my first company that I had was an employment agency, and I struggled greatly those first few years. You're like, oh my gosh, like I was young and I didn't know anything. I kind of started thinking I can do this. And oh, what a reality check that was. And I got, a couple $100,000 in debt and struggled greatly. It was a brick and mortar business. So I had a lease space, employees, and it was kind of a real challenging time. But I, thank God I got better at it. And I actually grew it to a $5.2 million company and then sold it.
Yes.
And so that's what started me on this journey, because I know what it's like to really struggle and have a passion, have a dream, and just not have it come together. And, I've been there, my, feet on the fire, back up against the wall, kiting payments from 8 credit cards just to stay in business, all that stuff we do. And then turning it over and having a profitable, successful, business with a team and having the lifestyle that comes with that. And that's what I really love to do. That's my happy spot for work sense, is helping business owners, to go from that kind of, like not to struggle, because we're entrepreneurs because we want to have the lifestyle, we want to make an impact, and being able to help people make that impact, have that lifestyle, and actually have successful, thriving businesses.
That's beautiful. I love that you talked about like profit, right? The importance of profit, not just being in debt, but also you talked a little bit about sustainability, right? Like you had to figure out a way to kind of get out of that stumbling place. So for you as a business owner, right, we've been talking a lot about sustainability and speaking for profit. How do you sustain yourself in your business? Do you have any wellness practices besides driving really, really fast that you do for yourself to make sure that you're bringing joy, bringing health and wellness into your business?
I think it's a daily, I hate to use the word life-work balance, but what the heck? It really is recognizing that there's two sides to that coin. And if we get too focused on one or the other, we're going to be out of balance. the other thing that I do that really makes me laugh, I don't have kids, but I got a fox terrier, and it's like a perpetual 2-year-old. And, Tegan always keeps me centered. It's great to have, when you're having a tough day, you always got the dog to go hug. And, he comes and he does the craziest things. Like, here's something really funny. This morning I was working with a client on the call, and he starts howling. I don't know why. He's in the other room. He kind of barks and howls to music sometimes, but he's never done that on his own. And he's sitting there howling, and, I'm kind of hearing him. I'm going, oh, great. And my client on Zoom is like, she turns, where's noise coming from? It's like my dog, so Tiggy kind of always keeps me laughing and centered. And, we need that. We need to laugh. We need to be inspired. We need to be in groups and masterminds and coaching programs, because I think that when we try and do it alone, it's the hard, slow road. And I did that in my first company. I was very much a lone wolf. And oh my gosh, I was kind of like do it by myself, and I had just moved to Vancouver. So I really didn't even have a support network here when I started my company. And now the difference is day and night, where I have colleagues who understand what I'm going through, and I have a support team, and I have people I can reach out to, and I got a fox terrier and a yellow Corvette, and between that, I'm set for life.
That is beautiful. Thank you for wrapping in the power of coaching, right? And the power of actually building a team. I think that is one of the things I love about being a part of the mentorship program that we're a part of together, is that it teaches you how to not only build a team, but build a team that vibes together, right? Because we always want people around us that are going to take us to the next level. And Sue, I consider you one of those people. We had a conversation, I think maybe about 3-4 weeks ago, right? Before my first masterclass. I've done 2 since then, right?
Oh, good.
Right. This was my second one that I utilized. And this was after you did your masterclass on how to, right, create space and sell from the stage. So when I was there thinking about like who really supported me in the success of that, you were in the center of it. So I really want to talk today about like the strategies, not all of it, y'all. I'm not going to get all the tea from Sue, right? But some of the strategies in the next like 20 minutes, right, that people can utilize to be able to not only do one masterclass, but do reoccurring masterclasses. Because I see this as a reoccurring stream of income, right? Number one, but also a way to get in front of your audience and different audiences to be able to share and serve and share your story. So if you could provide 3 things that you think people are completely doing wrong when it comes to masterclasses, what would be those things?
I'm not sure if I can stop at 3, but let's see what we can do. So the first thing is that we have to think of the masterclass as a conversion event. There's a reason for it. It's the old Stephen Covey quote, begin with the end in mind. And the end is that we want to, yes, provide great content. Yes, position ourselves as the expert that we are. But ultimately, it is really about conversion. It's about bringing people into our inner circle, and so that they have an opportunity to have greater learning, greater value from working with us. So if we come with the end in mind, that's the first step we have to do. The other thing that I find, often, and this is where I've spoken literally on hundreds of stages, and I used to do like a webinar every month, like for years. And before that, I did teleseminars before I had webinars around. Yeah, I'm an old dog. And the thing is that we always, at least I used to always think, content is king. So as long as I show up with great content, and I'm kind of a teacher mode anyways, or, style. So I want to pour content into people. And I just, I think if I just show up and I teach them really lots of good stuff, it'll be enough and they'll buy from me. And that doesn't always happen. And so that's kind of the mistake, is that we focus too much on our content and not enough on our conversion. And in content, there's 2 mistakes we can do. One is not enough. And I think we've all been to one of those webinars or master classes where they talk about themselves and they talk about the problem, but you're left like going, how, like, what's the fix? And you don't really come away learning anything, or you don't get any new insights. So not enough information is a problem. And on the flip side, too much information, which is where I always used to live, that over-delivering of too much content, too much information, too deep of information, that also isn't any good. You're fire hosing people. And, I learned this the hard way when I used to do a lot of free evening seminars, and I'd fill a hotel room and 200 to 300 people. do my presentation. And it was almost like taking them to Las Vegas. We go up and down the buffet line and they'd be learning, and I'd be giving, oh, don't forget this and this and this, and giving them so much content. And then at the end of the presentation, it's almost like me waltzing out on the stage with the cheesecake in hand saying, do you want to buy my cheesecake? And everyone was like, you know, are you kidding? I got a doggy bag. I got a suitcase. I got so much content. I'm going to go home and I'm going to learn that and I'm going to consume that, and I'm good for the next 6 months. And maybe I might think of you after that, you know? And so that's the problem, is too little or too much. We sound like Goldilocks, but we have to get that right amount of content. But then we also need to have a system in place so it is a conversion content. Because, you know, when I was just talking with a client this morning, it's like we sell through our content. And so there's 3 pieces of a good masterclass. Is that okay if we go off in this direction a little bit?
Yes, let's do it. Let's go for it. Take us there, Sue. Please do.
So, you know, there's 3 pieces. The first piece is we need to have a good, solid opening framework. You know, we say, I don't know whether it was Dale Carnegie or somebody, you know, we make our impression in the first 10 seconds. Well, when we start our presentation, you know, we need to lay the platform of positioning ourselves, the audience, the offer. We need to position all that, you know, and get that warm up, that startup well done quickly. So it's not too overwhelming, but well enough that we earn the credibility and we earn the attention. We want to basically get their attention. But then the center section is the content piece, and going back to having the right balance of not too much and not too little, but having enough of it, but also recognizing the content is where you pre-sell your offer. The content is where you get the clients to sign up before you ask them to sign up. And that's really key, because if we position our content well and we tell, you know, we teach through stories and we seed all the way through it, and we do that in a really clever, smart way, and we pre-sell our objections. So, you know, what are all the potential objections that a buyer could have? I call it the ladder of beliefs. And if we put in the ladder of beliefs and we pre-sell the objections, we knock them out of the way, then when we go to make our offer at the end, we've done the heavy lifting already. And so that's the third piece, is making sure that we have an offer. But it's not that we just kind of become that salesy weirdo, or all of a sudden, you know, the content ends. And I've heard it, and I've probably done it, where you watch somebody and they create content, the content ends, and all of a sudden their voice changes and they get kind of pitchy, and they either are too embarrassed and say, well, you can just buy from me. Here's my, you know, they kind of mumble off their offer and they barely make one. Or the other one is like, really in your face, pounding it into you. And that's that salesy weirdo that kind of nobody wants to buy from. But if you've done the content and you've sold all the way through without selling, that's the clever piece of what I teach, is when we get to the content, we're making an invitation, and it's authentic and it feels comfortable for you and the audience. And you'll get people stepping up and wanting to take that invitation. So that's kind of a little bit of the story there.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I really like the concept that you put service first. And I don't know if you've thought about that, Sue, but you really talk about, like, no, we don't want to just deliver content. We want to deliver content that actually provides value, right? And maybe that is not giving them everything that you've done in a lifetime, right? I think that's really, really narrowing it down and giving them the important nuts and bolts so that they can be able to put that masterpiece together. And then you're ending it off with, okay, now I want to invite you, right? I'm not trying to sell you. I'm trying to invite you, right, into an opportunity to step into the next great moment of your life. So just thank you for wrapping that up. How have you utilized the stage in particular to advance your businesses, maybe the business now or the business in the past?
Well, you know, obviously with COVID, I haven't been on stages. I guess the last one was a year ago, February, like 2 weeks before we all got shut down. And but prior to that, I used to get booked to speak a lot, like pretty much I had a speaking gig every month, Chamber of Commerce, all these associations network. I actually got invited to go to Denmark once, and I had 2 speaking gigs in Denmark, which was kind of like the best thing going, because I also kind of did a side trip in Paris on the way home. Just thinking about that, I've almost lost track of the question at hand. But what, you know, if you were to ask me, and people have often said this, Sue, where do your clients come from? I would say that easily, you know, 80 to 90% of my clients came from speaking, because I would speak well, and no doubt my name is bantered around. And I never actually chased speaking events. I've never, I know some people teach you how to get gigs. I never looked for gigs. They just came to me. And so I get these speaking opportunities, and at the end I make an invitation. And people would take me up on the invitation, and that's what kept my client roster full, was just, speaking was the best way to get clients.
I love that. And I love that you said you never really had to go out, right?
No.
What I often tell people that I speak to, they're like, I'm afraid no one will want to hear me speak. And I'm like, when you tell people you speak, and by the time you go and speak, someone else is asking you to come speak. So it's really big that you have the infrastructure of your business set up so that you can actually support yourself with dealing with clients coming to you and you actually having a system, right? Do you have an email system set up? Do you have some strategy set up? Do you even have your speeches ready, right? Really getting prepared for the moment, because I don't feel like the leads are the hard part about it. I feel like really naming your price, right? And also showing up in the most confident way is usually what people have a challenge with. But for you as a speaker, I guess, what are like 3 things that you love speaking about, right? So that maybe if folks want to bring you into their audiences now, things are opening back up, Sue. We have virtual events. What are 3 topics that you love to talk about?
Well, the topic that I'm really keen about these days is obviously how to craft and facilitate a high converting masterclass. Because I see so many people doing it and doing it poorly, and they're not getting the results. And actually, with COVID, we're doing way more virtual events than we've ever had before. And whether you call it a masterclass or call it a 5-day challenge, you do a webinar, it's a conversion event. And so that's the number one thing I'd love to talk about, is how to really convert better when you're doing these conversion events. The second thing, of course, that's near and dear to me is my CEO strategies. And it's like, we can get to that first 100 or 200K fairly easily on our own. But when we get past that, the complexity of our business changes. And so I have my 5 CEO strategies, and I'm not going to get into them now, but I walk people through that in the sense of how to create the systems to be able to have a business that's scalable and that they can actually grow, whether you want to get to that, $1 million mark, or whether you're, comfortable to get $500,000 or whatever number in that range. But it's really about helping people understand that what got you to that first 100K or 200K isn't going to get you all the way past that. And so that's really the key piece. And within the 5 CEO strategies that I talk about, there's any one of those 5 topics would be great: sales and marketing, building a team, knowing your numbers, and understanding the CEO mindset. Those are kind of the high notes of them. So we fall in those areas.
Thank you, Sue. Sue, I really wanted to ask you that because I knew you were going to have your pitches and I knew you were going to have your offers ready, right? I often ask my students, if I had money right now in my pocket, I want to buy from you. I want you to come and speak. Tell me your offer. And this was a great example of how you can do that and how you wrap that into our conversation today, which is masterclasses. So before you go, right, because I know that you are a busy person, what I would love to hear from you is, what is conversion in a masterclass, right? We've used that term a lot today, and there's a lot of new entrepreneurs here. What does it mean to truly convert, and what is the concept around that?
Okay, it kind of goes back to where we started from, in the sense that we begin with the end in mind. And we're doing this masterclass to get credibility, to position ourselves as an expert, to share content and help people. But ultimately, it's to get clients. And so conversion means do a masterclass and it should bring you business. And so whether it's like, hey, click this link and buy my whatever gizmo, whether it's a click and buy, or whether it's an invitation to book a conversation with me, those are the 2 converting things. And so if you have like 50 people come to a masterclass and you only convert 1%, well, I'd rather do 50 people and convert 25, because it doesn't take that many people to fill up my business calendar and to make a healthy, multi-6-figure income. So really, it's about using speaking to build your business, to get those clients in the door. And rather than just speak for the, goodwill of speaking, but actually it is a business strategy. It is a marketing strategy. So let it do the heavy lifting and do what it's meant to do, which is to bring you prospects, qualified hot prospects, as I call them, because if you've spoken well and your marketing message is on track because I'm going to jump somewhere, marketing message is on track and your presentation is on track, then what's happening is you're actually pre-qualifying your prospects. So when people do book a call with you, they're not tire kickers. They already know who you are. They know what you're talking about. And they're already kind of a pre-fit, because your presentation, if you're selling through your content, you're only going to be attracting the people that are a good fit for you. And so that's really the piece of it, is making sure that your presentation does that heavy lifting so that it does convert and does give you conversations, not with just anybody and tire kickers, but really with the right people who are ready to step up and work with you.
Thank you, Sue. So this is what we call the icing on the cake, right? You go to a speaking engagement, you're already going to get paid because you've secured a bag before you get there. And then when you get on stage, right, you bring people from that audience into your audience and connect it to your offer. I love it because it just shows multiple streams of income coming. And where does it start from? Your voice, Sue. And it started from your voice today. So what are you doing right now, Sue? Like, how can folks get connected to you? We have some amazing comments. Folks are saying great information. They're loving your ideas. How can they work with you if they wanted to start like right now? Because time is in the essence.
Okay. Well, I'm sure somewhere, I can't see, but I'm sure somewhere there's going to be a link that people can find me on Facebook, right? Or find my group on Facebook. But if you are interested in, if you do masterclasses, webinars, 5-day challenge, whatever, conversion events, if you are doing conversion events and you kind of might be a little frustrated that you've done them and you're not getting the signups, you're just not getting the converting, they're not converting, you're not getting the prospects from it, and you'd like to have some assistance with that, then I'd like to make an invitation for you today. That's to reach out to me and to hop on the phone. We'll do a discovery session where we'll talk about what's working and what's not working and lay out some strategies for you to move forward or to improve what you've got, and to see if and how I can help you in that journey. And if I can, I certainly would be more than pleased to share with you how you could work with me. And if I can't, no doubt I'll leave you with some resources that will help you in your journey wherever you might go. And to hook up with me and to find or book a session, it's really simple. It's simply SueClement.com/chat, CHAT. So SueClement.com/chat is the best place to hook up a time, get on my calendar, and let's connect and figure out how we can help you convert better and higher and get those clients, right?
Yes, let's do it, y'all. Get on Sue's calendar, right? Have this discovery session. I did it and I had a great time at my masterclass. I feel like I'm a great trainer, but I really didn't know the concept of being able to show people how I can serve them throughout my presentation so that I can invite them, right, into this amazing building that we're building called Speaking for Profit Academy. So Sue, this has been an amazing conversation. I'm going to leave all of that in the comments, folks. So if you want to click on Sue's profile, get connected. I am giving you the gold star review, right? That you will not only take care of people, but support people in flourishing. So folks, when we talk about speaking for profit, I want you all to know that it's not just speaking from a stage, right? It's as simple as this conversation that we're having today, right? This can move into momentum, right, of prospects connecting to us, right? So we really want to use our voice to call in abundance, and we really want to use our voice to call in exactly the life and the freedom that we want to live. So I hope that this interview was helpful for you. Sue, thank you so much for being here. Anything you want to say before you go?
Well, I'll leave with my favorite quote because that always comes to mind. It is in your moment of decision that your destiny is shaped. So make a new decision, make a fresh decision, and shape your destiny, because it's up to you. If it's going to be, well, it doesn't rhyme when I say it that way, but if it's going to be, it's up to me, right? But you can chant that to yourself. But it really is, all things are possible. And so regardless of where you're at, all things are possible. And that's really what I wake up every morning and say to myself is, all things are possible. So hold on to them.
All things are possible. Thank you so much for being here, Sue. For everyone who is watching now, just put hashtag live in the comments. In the near and dear future, put hashtag replay. If you're interested in getting on a call and learning more about Speaking for Profit Academy, just put the word strategy in the comments. We're always down to support you on not only retaining information, but putting it into implementation. So until next time, peace.
Thanks for listening to BOI Meets Wellness. Stay connected on and off the show by following us online at BOI Meets Wellness. That's boy with an I. Until next time, go be incredible.